What I'm trying to achieve with musicians is essentially to teach them how they can earn more from their gift for music.
Okay.
That's my mission, essentially.
And why is that important, Dimitri?
It is important because the issue in the industry of music, especially classical music, is that musicians work really hard and they have very little control over their time, over their earnings.
Right.
And when that happens, that leads to all kinds of issues that many musicians have in their daily lives.
Okay.
And when that happens, instead of focusing on music, on what they are really born to do, what they really love the most, they are now forced to focus on problems such as how I pay my bills, how I take my kids through college, how do I do this and that. They even don't have time to breathe or do anything for their bodies, for their mind, because it's like, imagine if you are not earning enough. I mean, majority of musicians in Europe somehow earn kind of okay. However, it's a very, very, very low salary.
Right.
So where they end up in a situation where really they have to think more about mundane problems rather than focus on the music.
Okay.
So, well, that's what I'm doing. Essentially, I'm here on a mission to show them how they can make more money with music.
And are you targeting specific musicians? Specific genre, Dimitri?
That's a really great question, Jo. My own background is classical music.
Cool.
And within classical music, even within classical music, there are niches, so to speak. So there are musicians who teach and don't perform that much. There are musicians who play at orchestras.
Okay.
Also, they're like a full-time employed.
Okay, yeah.
So this is a sub-niche. And there are also freelancers. So like musicians like myself, when I was used to perform professionally, I was a freelancer. So it's completely another category of musicians.
Okay. And are there different challenges that each of those subgenres face, or is there the same challenges?
It is very different, of course.
Okay.
So with orchestra musicians, since they have a full-time job, the main challenge maybe is really they have very little control over the time and they have very limited earnings. So this one challenge. Another challenge for these musicians is that in many orchestras they feel extremely unfulfilled because you see, as kids, well, just imagine yourself as a small child. You are really inspired. You love doing something, and this is where you dive into. Let's say it's music or painting or anything or photography. You name it, something creative, some creative pursuit. So you really dive into this. It's your big picture. You have this big picture in your mind. This is what you are good at. This is what you love to do, and this is what you want to be loved for by society. And then you go to the college still having this idea that yes, this is what you want to do, and you don't picture yourself like a struggling, creative.
No.
It's completely outside of the frame. No, you even don't think about it a second. And then you discover, once you have completed the college, is that, well, first of all, job is not guaranteed. So musicians start playing audition after audition after audition, and then this is where they discover that. Actually, not most of the time maybe, but so frequently, they are not taken on the basis of their intrinsic qualities, like their artistic proficiency, their technical skills, and so forth. It's really backstage connections that land them a job or luck.
Of course.
Or luck. So even then, even when they get the job, very frequently they discover that it's very far from the dream, because you see, being a creative person, expressing yourself through music, is kind of presupposes to have a degree of, not a degree, a complete artistic freedom.
Right.
And then you are in this confinement of an orchestra pit or orchestra, symphonic orchestra, where you are actually not allowed, not supposed to express your self. This is where you have to really squeeze yourself into conform. Yes, and in some instances this can be a rewarding situation, because if it is a really amazing orchestra with an amazing charismatic leaders, with just really encouraging your artistic growth and so forth, yes, absolutely. But statistically, most of the time they are these dominating personalities. and this is with whom you have to comply, and that's where musicians start to feel really frustrated, and on top of this, it also does not pay fantastically well.
Okay.
It's literally just to make the ends meet. So, can I help musicians in orchestras? That's a great question. So this is literally the choice of these musicians. If they just want that, and they do not believe that there is a better place, there is very little I can do
if
to
they're
help
happy
these
in an
musicians.
orchestra, then they're not they're not the guys that you believe you can help.
Yeah, this is a great question. If they are happy in the orchestra, then they don't need anything.
Okay.
That's fine already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
But if they are in an orchestra and they are not very happy and they do not believe that there is a better life, then it's a very difficult place.
Okay.
Can I help them? A question of like making them believe that look, it's actually doable.
Yes.
It's not the ideal situation to be working in an environment where they really feel depressed or frustrated. And I mean, this is not my invention.
No.
I've been through this, first of all, myself.
Okay.
And I've been in a little bit better situation than majority of musicians because of instrument making. So I could always choose. Okay, I don't want to work with these groups because I just don't feel it's the right place for me.
Yeah.
And I don't do this for the income because I have my instrument making. But for many musicians, that's not the case. So they have to accept those jobs even they know that's not the right place for them to be.
And that's when they get frustrated because they have to pay the bills, but they want to follow their passion, but they can't follow their passion because there may not be the opportunities or they may not enjoy the...
Precisely.
Right, okay.
So this is, with these musicians, yes, I can work, I can show them, if you want to express yourself as a musician, and if you also want to make some money with this, potentially 10 times more than they are making in an orchestra, there is a way.